Hi Taurus, and welcome to your November 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead of November. In this reading, I'm going to do some intuitive messages for you, followed by a week-to-week tarot forecast and an extended reading on Patreon, which will be linked below. So this is a late night reading, Taurus. I am up here in Scorpio season, getting this reading done, and I just really felt your energy coming in. It is about midnight, which means I'm off to bed shortly, but yes, I wanted to film this reading because I was just taking some time in reflection and kind of relaxing. And I had a lot of understanding about Taurus energy because your sign really matters this month. Your sign is going through some major stuff here because, of course, we have a total lunar eclipse happening in your sign on November the 8th. Interesting day for that to be happening. Following the partial solar eclipse in Scorpio on October 25th. So this is going to have some really strong implications for you. Let's talk about that in your intuitive messages and compare that to the tarot insights. So yes, there is going to be a new importance placed on stability for you. There is going to be a huge importance also placed on finding a system of value that works for you. As you know, the sign of Taurus is all about value, prosperity, earnings, relationships, and also how your relationship or your marriage can boost your prosperity through teamwork, through building each other up, through confidence, and through shared equity. There is a lot of stuff for you this month coming up in that territory. So the idea of marriage, whatever you're marrying in your life, whether it's a person, a project, or a mindset, it's important to look at that here because the month of November will have you maybe a marriage proposal, or it will have you wanting to commit to something. Also, you could have a change in commitment with the total lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Some type of marriage could leave or change, and you might be facing a new person or a new project very soon. Also, as I was meditating on the energy of Taurus, I was feeling that the war with the self also really has to stop. For many years now, you could have been in a self-challenging mode where there were contradicting actions compared to your belief system. So with Saturn and Uranus also square in your sign in Aquarius, which I've talked about at length on this channel, that has led to a conflicted belief system for a lot of Taurus people. And I think that this total lunar eclipse, which also is the exact time where that square breaks up for the last time, it means that that conflict is going to be solved, or it could just become so potent or so intense that you have to solve it, or you have to complete this battle with the self, or understand that there are no more battles to be had with the self for some of you, and to really start to step into a more peaceful territory. So many Taurus people could also still feel conflicted about the past as well. And it's like, that person that I was in a relationship with, how does that affect me now? How do I feel about that? I feel like there could still be mixed feelings, or there could still be curiosity evoked within the way you think about people versus the choices you made back then. So when you're thinking about all of the peaceful choices back then, or you're thinking about all of the ways in which you pulled someone into your life, and now there's maybe such a movement away from that person, or there's such a strong feeling of wanting to change direction, those things need to be reconciled here. So it's kind of like reconciling accounts. Okay, what did I do? What did the other person do? What does that mean? Okay. How did certain actions, or how did certain choices that I experienced with another person, what do they mean now? And how do I move forward as I feel that you are being released, okay? Being that it's a lunar eclipse in your sign, also the South Node, of course, opposing that, which I have to talk about as well. That means that you could be being released by another person, or someone could really be moving on here, or you might, of course, be wanting to release someone or something. Also, this could be like jobs and employment as well. I feel like many Taurus people are seeing the unsustainability of their current commitments. So that's going to be important to think about in November as well. How can I create a more sustainable future for myself? And by November of next year, by November of 2023, can I see a complete alleviation? I think that because of course the moon is exalted in Taurus, so to put an eclipse on that, it is trying to remove that from your life that prevents you from expressing in your exalted form. What would that be? That would be a good thing to also journal about here. What is preventing a certain exaltation? Is it an addiction? Is it misplaced blame? Is it false realities that one creates to cope? Is it overspending? Is it misplaced commitments as well, like committing to one thing that you really don't need in your life while moving away from a commitment that you might need more? You should have some really clear sight during this month of November to know the status of things. I think that the South Node opposing you this month, along with the Scorpio season, Mercury coming through, these eclipses happening, I think it should give you some major X-ray vision. You might have like an incredible aha moment about a person from the past, or even like a person from the future as well. Like you could be realizing, whoa, like I've never even had a good relationship before. Like I've never even had trust in a relationship before. I see a lot of Tauruses having that right now. Like also the realization that truly there is so much better. Okay. So I don't know what that means to some of you, but also that there has only really been a decline, or that there has only really been a kind of like lukewarm nature to everything in the experience lately. So that is something that we really have to see here in November, because this major Scorpio energy, and there's a bunch of signs dealing with this right now, Taurus, where it's like a lukewarm result across the board, like with the diet, with the appearance, with the job, like a South Node in Scorpio with all these eclipses, it indicates that a certain lukewarm and cooling kind of nature to the entirety of the experience is now coming back to heat, and perhaps being replaced with different types of components, different types of elements that don't allow a certain lukewarm nature to return. So we have a major transcending this month for your sign, and for all the fixed signs, really. Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus. The lukewarm stuff is about to end. Whatever has caused things to be lukewarm, whether it's like trying to do unfinished business, whether it's being at battle with the self and hampering one's own energy. I see a lot of people doing that right now. Overspending energy as well, so you don't have as much to like really heat up your own experience. These are things that we have to really recognize if they're happening, and we have to really be prepared to implement new strategies, new components, new ways to have deeply more significant experience. This is not a time, Taurus, where just like the sense of comfort that you give yourself, like just in your home, like gets you through. Meanwhile, like all the relationships and crazy stuff outside the home is like off, and we can't suspend that disbelief anymore here. In fact, this particular Scorpio season of 2022, it is not really allowing anybody to suspend disbelief. We have realities here, and we also have like catalyst pressure that lead us to actually solve problems in a very, very powerful way. And that problem solving, I don't think would happen if we feel comfortable. So it might not be comfortable here, but that discomfort has meaning, and that discomfort also will get you where you need to be if you're willing to satiate it and not just like wallow in it. So I'm kind of telling a similar thing to Scorpio this month as well, where it's like, if you don't like something, you really got to make that change. If you feel burned out, if you feel like all over the place, why is that happening? How can we fix that? Like, it's not really a time to just question why it's happening. It's time to just understand. And also watch out for overthinking anything here as well. It's really not about being in the mind. It's not about the thoughts. It's not about the past anymore either. This is about stepping into the present, and it's also about understanding the current value of your life now. Okay, which for some of you is just like off the charts incredible. I've got to say, Taurus is like one of the most volatile signs right now for like having some Taurus people in just these like incredible energetic elevation places, and then others like really struggling. I've got to say, probably more than any of the other signs. And that's part of having the North Node in your sign, which has been there for a long time now, you all. Of course, we have, I suppose, about another 8 months. So it's certainly, it's hitting for sure a halfway point at least. So that's important for you guys to know that the North Node in Taurus narrative and story for you, nodal return happening, that story is probably climaxing now, or stands to do so very soon. So what does that mean to you? Again, check my video about the North and South Node in Taurus and Scorpio for 2022 and 2023 for more information about that. But as it stands for you all here in November, I would say that would really be showing any type of manufactured sense of well-being in your life, any false realities, any packaged up self-preservation tactics that need to now be replaced with healthier mechanisms. All that would be coming up very strongly. And also like ambition and orientation towards goals, and the degree to which that is natal and naturally, organically inspired versus reactionary to like pain or other people in your life with the South Node, okay, in Scorpio. Things like that will be coming up for understanding here as well. But on the positive side, before we get into your week-to-week Taurus, it's going to be a long reading this month, but I think that you have earned it because, yes, lunar eclipse in your sign this month. On the positive side, I want to talk positive because I know that this has been maybe a little bit heavy for some of you. There is a light in the dark here, okay? Because of how dark things are, though, of course, we're in the dark time of the year here in the Northern Hemisphere. And I don't care whether you're in North or South Hemisphere, Scorpio season is a dark time. It's your opposite sign. It's your axis. I think that the way that you build structures in your life, the way that you're creating, the ideas that you're having, and the self-perception is a great source of light in the dark for you here. I think that the way that your mind is operating, or the way that you're just energetically feeling the breadth of your experience right now is golden. Now, is there a bit of a disconnect between that and what's actually happening? Yes, there is for everybody. But we need to start seeing a little bit of a blending here. So that's like manifestation, right? That's healthy chakral system. That's healthy mind, body, and spirit. So that we naturally move towards the positive and undisputably healthy feelings and inclinations we have on the inside. That stuff, I think, as we move into the second part of your nodal return here, that's the next part. It's like, oh, this is so good, Taurus. I'm so happy. I'm so happy right now. I've just gotten an incredible download about this current nodal axis that we're in. So the first phase of it has been about developing that interior feeling. It's been about developing like the self-image, the self-concept, the identity of the self, not in an identitarian 2D sense, but in like a more deep, true way of identity, which is much more complex, I think, than society lets us know, but that's another topic for another day. But yes, developing this interior vision. And now as we move into November, and really by the end of November, I think that it's still kind of like that for most of November. For sure by the time we hit December, yes, this stuff has to start coming out, and this stuff has to start being channeled and being made into reality, or being placed into goal orientation or linear ideas, linear maps, linear planning to get there. Because I think some of the ideas that a Taurus has right now are really golden. Okay, like the visions, the designs, the the just the inner vision. But I do feel it really disconnects from the outside to an extent, most of the time. And then you might be even like, by the time like December's coming through, you might even see that it's just like a matter of essence, or it's a matter of holding and just like auric strength. So what do I mean by that? It's like maybe sometimes in certain places on certain days, you're embodying these new images or these new self-developments. But then other times it's like totally off, or it's totally not there at all. And it's like the whole gray sweatpant thing that just won't go away, which is not where we want to be. So yes, do I think that this connects to the appearance? I do. Not in a way where we're talking about society's beauty standards, not in a way where, I mean, sure, honestly, it is about that, but I'm not recommending that you implement societal beauty standards, but of course that has an impact on many people's internal vision of themselves and comparison biases and such. But what I'm trying to get at here is, do you like the way you appear to yourself? Do you feel comfort there? I think there's a big wound relating to self-concept and stuff like that coming up for healing in November. And we've got to really see that we start liking it, and that we also start implementing undisputably healthy tactics to start to really love our body and to really love our physicality, because that's a part of North Node in Taurus too. One of the negative outcomes of North Node in Taurus is demeaning of the body to like achieve some type of energetic outcome. So for example, like imagine like you're so busy with your goals, or you're so focused on ambition that all you do is like order delivery pizza every single day and like Cokes, and that's all you eat and drink, like while you're like constantly working and like doing some incredible stuff. In that sense, you it's almost like printing money, you know, you're like taking in a false energy and it's not real, and it inflates, right? It causes inflation of the body. And that's what's also happening with the monetary supply right now too. But anyway, this video will stretch a long time if we take it there. But there, I mean, yeah, that's also there right now too. Watch out for demeaning the value of what you already have by creating or falsely manufacturing a lot of you that wouldn't maybe naturally be there. So putting yourself too many places, signing up for too many hours at the workplace, working too many jobs at once, overstocking your schedule. I think that that's been rampant for your sign for like the last, since the North Node went into Taurus, I believe last February. So as we move into this next phase of it, I think that there might be a big pulling back for a lot of you, and a question about the core value of what you are, have created already, without like a need to constantly manufacture new parts of your energy. So it's a big toning up, and it's a big refinement. It's a big also question about, where does my energy go every day, and is that worth it? Anyway, beautiful Taurus. I haven't even talked about your tarot yet. This is going to be a long video. It's going to be so